And we're back to Animal Crossing related network, you guys. I am ready. I have been ready. Oh, it finally happened. All right, so how's it going, everyone? I'm Zach.
Adam.
Kevin.
And we are back at the back in the office for Game Related Network.
Game Related Network in the house.
Another very late Saturday night, Sunday morning, 1st of March. You guys, we are in the same month as a new Half-Life game.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
My hackles are rising.
Yeah. And I mean,
That's
same
a
as
crazy
Animal
thing to
Crossing.
think about.
It's
man.
wild.
It's only been a handful of months that's ever been able to say that about.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of them.
And this was also, unfortunately, it was going to be the month that Final Fantasy VII Remake came out.
It was. But it's okay. It's not delayed that long, though.
It's
like
very much not that far off now.
Yeah.
Think about it, man. It's only a month away now.
Yeah.
I wanted to be excited for you.
I know.
I wanted to be happy for you.
But I
remember last year.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down.
Animal Crossing got delayed, and Zach was just like, what's life now?
While I'm like, over here laughing at him while, Final Fantasy got delayed, and I'm just like,
Like, it's gonna be okay, buddy. There's a lot of
Adam was over here
life.
being a good friend, and I'm just like, fuck you and your eyebrows.
Yeah. You went in the mirror, was it 6 months? When was that fucking tech demo for the PlayStation 3?
2007, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I want to say 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
At least it's almost a decade and a half.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Cool,
And there's
cool,
another
Stick
long
your
wait
finger in
though.
that wound.
Well, the thing that also kind of bums me out when I think about it is once you're done with the slice of it that you get in April, then you have to wait another however many years.
This is true.
For the rest of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the engine and the assets have been established, at least, for the main base game. So, ideally, it would take less time for the rest of the parts of the Final Fantasy VII Remake to come out. But, we're getting a little off track here. Animal Crossing.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
I know,
well, there's, I guess a lot of this podcast is going to be things that we've been waiting for that are arriving. And we're nearing the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. As you can see, our background is a spaceship that has finally released in the Star Citizen universe. We'll talk about later. But man, let's talk about that Animal Crossing.
Okay,
man.
so Animal Crossing Nintendo had an Animal Crossing Direct on February 20th, 2020. I woke up at 6 a.m. to watch this fucking
nice.
And my roommate and I were both ready, and it was like a half hour, give or take, of information. But I'll recap a little bit. So we got the announcement that there was going to be an Animal Crossing game on the Nintendo Switch in September of 2018 was when we got the announcement, because it was announced at the same time that Isabelle was announced as a Super Smash Brothers character.
Nice, yeah.
So they did a whole fucking thing with it. It was like, they made us think it was the announcement for a new game, and then it was like, oh, just kidding, it's just Isabelle and Smash, and everyone was like, Animal Crossing fans were all just like, are you fucking kidding me? And then they were like, okay, no, just kidding. Like right afterwards, they were like, yeah, for real, Animal Crossing on Nintendo Switch 2019. And 2019 came and started January, February, March, April, May, silence. Nothing on Animal Crossing. Nothing on Luigi's Mansion either, which was also slated for 2019 and did end up coming out October of that year. But E3 comes around and we're just like, dude, we got to see Animal Crossing. It's got to happen. But we got the trailer and it got the final release date of March 20th, 2020. All I wanted last year was for that game to not get delayed into 2020. That's all I wanted. I didn't give a shit about anything else, to be honest. I love Animal Crossing. I am a very big advocate of that series. The first game, the second game, and the fourth game are my favorites. The third one on the Wii was not really that big of a step forward for the franchise, so a little disappointing for me. I had already played a bunch of the one that had come out beforehand, so there wasn't much that this next one had offered on the Nintendo Wii back in like 2008, 2009. I want to say 2009.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we got the footage up here.
I wasn't trying to rush you.
No, I
Give
mean,
us some context.
you guys might want to, that we just got some snaps of the museum there, and I was kind of wondering, there was a lot of answers in this video for me. I had a lot of questions that got answered here, and the museum was one of them, and the museum looks awesome in this game compared to the last few games. And I mean, if you guys look visually at this, it's just like, I don't know, man. I just think it looks great. I think it looks so much better than any of these past games. The lighting specifically, I think they really have this like warmth and ambiance in certain areas that you can kind of see, and it's like, I don't know. I like the cartoony, like, you know, visual style. I like Animal Crossing. It's just fun. I don't know. It's really difficult to try and rationalize. It creates a sense of make-believe community, but actually not really make-believe if you go online and stuff like that. And that's the other thing, you guys, is that I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing on my 3DS. I've still been playing New Leaf because I have this list of stuff that I told you about, and I, like, you know, won that raffle contest on Reddit or whatever.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
And then I ended up you know, meeting that list of goals for all the houses, and then I just decided to take things to the next level. And now I'm trying to. I finished my town and did everything outside that I could possibly want to. I got a police station, I got a lighthouse, and that stuff can take anywhere from like 100 to 800 hours of gameplay. And I got very lucky and unlocked that stuff on my own. And
800?
Yeah, I mean, dude, you can really go a while without getting that police station. It's fucked up, but I got
anarchy.
It's fucked up. It's just like, I mean, you know, it's just Animal Crossing. It's so kid friendly. Everything's just so safe and simple. It's like, why would you need a cop station? I don't know. It's like nothing ever goes wrong. No one ever, like, yeah. It's like a good escape. I don't know what's happening there necessarily. There's visitors that are to be coming in through towns. You can put furniture outside, which is a big deal, but maybe they'll get around to it before I'm done talking about it. But you can change the landscape of your town, and maybe it'll bring it up right as I finish talking about it. But you can change the course of your rivers and your cliffs. You can have 3 layers of cliffs on your islands, and just being able to alter that stuff on your own, even if you have to unlock it, creates a wealth of possibilities for customization. And that's you know, that's one of the big pulls of this game, is the customization and the self-expression of, you know, your island and your house, and you know, what you got going on and everything. And just like it says, create a one-of-a-kind island. You got all this stuff out here. Having furniture outside is a big deal. That
pole vaulted over.
Look at that action, dude.
Smooth right there.
Kojima ladders.
Is this a Strand
Animal
game?
Stranding?
Yeah, exactly. This is Animal Stranding, Breath of the Wild. Like, honestly, okay, in all seriousness, Pokemon, as far as Nintendo fans are concerned, Pokemon Sword and Shield, you know, not really the best quality, but oh my goodness, they still sold well anyway. So, you know, kind of shows Pokemon Company like, hey, we don't really need to put, you know, all the effort in. We don't have to, you know, do what, you know, Nintendo did with the Legend of Zelda series when they released Breath of the Wild. Nintendo, on the other hand, sees this franchise and they're like, yeah, no, I think we should, you know, they're doing justice to it.
Yeah. They're
living up to the potential. I think it's going to be the best-selling Animal Crossing game. I think it will break 15 million units. I think it will. And then, okay, so here we go. We're starting to talk about he's about to do the waterscaping and, like, change the river and the land and stuff like that.
Oh, shit, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so, like, you can kind of just change that stuff around how you like.
Damn.
Yeah.
He knits with that shovel, bro. I need one of those.
Right? He gets that hard work in, and then just boom.
But the pyramids are one of them.
And you can jump across small rivers yourself. That's new. The pole vault that he used earlier was new. You can kind of create these waterfalls. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Fucker just crafted a waterfall.
Yeah, dude.
What the hell?
I saw that and I was like, yes. Oh, that looks awesome. So I'm really excited. Yeah, no, that little snippet, that was the golden moment for this whole thing where, you know, it's like, oh, you can really change stuff up. And then that PAX East footage that's been coming out, there's been a lot, like, I haven't even been able to keep up with all of it. That's how much information has been coming out. But it's like you're starting to see all these nice detailed, like, you know, all the different stuff that you can do here. It's just,
I like seeing, because a lot of the footage I've seen so far had seemed kind of like early game.
Yeah.
Seeing the late game stuff where it's more developed and like what you're building.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of like about these kind of games. Like I've been playing a lot of Stardew, and I feel like there's a lot it has in common with this game.
Exactly.
At least on the surface level, you know.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's fun is like developing your farm and like, you know, laying out your buildings, and you can like build paths and walls and like customize all sorts of stuff.
Exactly. And that sounds like, you know, it would be perfect to hold me over, to be honest. And that's the thing, it's like all I'm really have left to do in the 3DS game is to finish my museum. I have 21 creatures left I have to catch. That's between deep sea creatures, fish, and bugs. And you fish with the fishing rod and then catch with the net. You probably saw some stuff like that in the trailer. And then they haven't actually announced the return of this yet, but in the most recent game before this on the 3DS, you could, change your clothes and put on a wetsuit and go into the water and swim and dive under to try and, pick up stuff that's on the floor level of the ocean. And I assume that's coming back. I mean, it's kind of weird they haven't announced that, to be honest. But, I mean, I don't know. I think people might have played it less, used that less in the older game. I can't really speak for anyone, but I don't know. I think they should bring it back. It would be pretty lame if they didn't. There's a lot more that I could go on about, but I mean, man, it looks so much fun. And I'm taking like 10, 11 days off of work.
Nice, yeah.
Like, no lie, my roommate and I are both taking that much time off.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear plenty more about it when it comes back around, dude. And yeah, keep us posted. I'm gonna be excited for you.
Make sure you have time to eat food, drink water, take showers.
That's the thing. I tell myself that half of this was for half of these Costco runs I've been doing here for coronavirus, but honestly,
it's really just for Animal Crossing. I'm not leaving the house for 2 weeks.
Comes out. The truth comes out. Good justification, though.
Good cover.
No one ask questions right now. Hey, Zach.
Nice cover.
What's going on over here? Oh, it's coronavirus. It's cool.
Oh, it's talking about
I was worried it's gonna be like in a weird Animal Crossing binge. Nah, man, I know you're gonna come back. And you and Granny are gonna be tied up.
Oh no! They probably after posting that video, I think a bunch of people came together and got her a Switch and sent it to her or whatever. So I think that's gonna be happening as long as she's still around. Goes without saying.
Yeah.
Go ahead, declare war now, bro.
No.
Let her know what's up.
No, I can't do it.
No. There's a new fucking champion. If he won't do it, I'll do it.
You should do it.
Yeah, he's not afraid of you, Granny. He's ready to rumble.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know, there's 800 hours at the police station, new sheriff is coming. No coincidence. Get ready.
Dude,
get ready.
I think you should do it.
What's this got to do with me?
I thought you said you would do it if I don't.
Wait,
I'm not gonna do it.
No, the gauntlet has been thrown.
No, man.
We threw down for you.
We threw down your gauntlet,
volunteering you.
Yeah. Ready to rumble. This guy. Now. As of a few weeks from now. Or is it a few weeks? When's it?
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks.
Okay, yeah.
Coming up.
Granny, you got time. You know?
Just get through coronavirus.
Little training montage. Do what you got to do. You know?
3 weeks.
Tell your family you'll see him in the summertime.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. But speaking of coronavirus again, not to force it up and keep fear-mongering, but GDC got postponed due to coronavirus.
It did. There's been a shortage of Nintendo Switch lately, apparently.
It's affecting a lot of stuff,
A lot of businesses and stuff, man, and that's the thing, not game-related. But what's interesting is that we haven't, all of our antibiotics are from China and have been from China since 2004, which is that's, I don't know. I think it's going to be nice to, it would be nice to have the right people make the right choices in a way where it results in a lot more stuff being made in America to boost our economy and get more jobs going and everything.
Took the thoughts right out of my head, just like a little, it's a weird political related network.
Political related network.
Just spin the wheels backwards a little bit on globalization and localize things and
dude. Yeah,
it'd be nice to have some local.
But where are you
prospects.
gonna get a locally made Nintendo Switch?
Oh,
That's
touche.
like a locally sourced I'm
They
not
shouldn't
trying
say
to. I'm
everything,
just
bro.
Japan. Make them in
Say
Japan.
everything.
Don't sign
devil
the
advocate.
don't sign the contract with Tencent. They're the devil's company.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, it sucks. I was really looking forward to GDC. It's always a lot of fun to see behind the scenes stuff and how games are made. But I just remember seeing headline after headline of this company's out, Amazon's out,
mean, rather it be postponed than canceled, to be honest.
Yeah.
At least we can still expect something, later on down the line, hopefully this year. Fingers crossed, maybe. But like you say, it's a good place for the community of game developers to get together and kind of, especially with the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X and the
Xbox
PlayStation
Series,
5,
yeah.
around the corner. So it's like, man, it would be really interesting to kind of see, hear some whisperings, here and there. And I mean,
speaking of which, there was finally some hard news from Microsoft, from Phil Spencer, about what is coming with the new Xbox. We got the article to pull up. It's a lot of it was stuff we already kind of knew, but they confirmed it.
It's a lot of this has been kind of in the rumor mill.
Yeah. One of the big things that really stands out for me is the way that the memory, or rather the storage solution, is going to work. It's not confirmed in this, but I saw in another thing that they're going to be using a PCIe 4 memory controller for their SSD, which PCI, like 4th gen PCIe, just came out with like the AMD newest generation chipset, the 5500 series of boards. So it's kind of a new tech, and that's just like higher bandwidth for storage, and that's going to allow for some of the stuff where like you can kind of like swapping between games is one of the things they talked about, or Phil talks about in this, as well as the variable rate shading, which is a really great feature that allows devs to optimize things and effects for just certain elements in a scene and really get big performance impacts while being able to like improve graphical effects to a large degree. Ray tracing is going to be coming through this, and this is coming through AMD's Navi architecture, not NVIDIA. So this is NVIDIA's been making all the waves with ray tracing with their RTX series, and kind of bringing that into the market now, and AMD is bringing it into consoles. So ray tracing, I think, is going to be a big thing that we'll actually see future games take advantage of. So that's a big thing. Can you scroll down a little bit more? There's some other good stuff. I think, the SSD storage, quick resume was the thing where you can kind of go between games.
There's 3 or 4 different games you can have on the queue for quick resume.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, just being able to like pause a game and go back to your menu and then like start a totally different one.
I think that bodes well just overall for load times too. If you can have that kind of memory available, I think just general load times going to be. And I remember hearing something about the PlayStation 5 load times being like milliseconds. So I imagine the Xbox Series X.
It's going to be. It's all similar. I mean, it's all coming from AM. I mean, I shouldn't say all, but I mean the graphics and the CPU architectures are all coming from AMD, and by nature of that, I think it's allowing for more up to date standards. And this is the first time. Digital Foundry did a good video, but they were saying this is the first time in a long time that a console generation is actually going to come out with technology that's like some of it's not on the market with regard to AMD's Navi architecture and how it's going to support ray tracing at the hardware level. They haven't released, at least at this point. It could happen. I mean, they might later this year release a graphics card that does ray tracing, but they don't have a graphics card right now that does ray tracing on the market for the PC. NVIDIA does, but AMD doesn't. So that's going to be a big deal, as well as the potential controller support with regard to the solid state memory or storage. But then, also here it's saying HDMI 2.1 and 120 frames per second support. Big stuff. I mean, allowing games that can actually hit that. That's going to be great for fluidity. Yeah. And HDMI 2.1, it's just a better bandwidth and better standard for HDMI as far as like what it can support with resolution, frame rate, and color depth, all that shit.
This doesn't seem like or look like a console at all.
Well, I mean, it's
the
consoles.
Way it looks,
yeah,
it looks like a little mini tower,
yeah.
like a Steam box.
Yeah,
that's
for
what
sure.
it reminds me more of than like a traditional console, like a Steam box. 'Cause especially how it's going to be more like a ecosystem. So the Xbox One X is still going to be part of it. So that seems like maybe the basic level Steam box, and this is going to be like the advanced level kind of.
Yeah,
this is kind of what it's starting to look like.
Well, no, I mean, ultimately, this is where consoles kind of should go. I mean, and I think the only reason it seems like such a stark contrast to the last gen is because the last gen was a little bit behind tech currently, whereas the gen before it, like if you go back to like the Xbox 360, the 360 had some, at least on the GPU side, some technology in it, and that was ahead of its time in the PC side. But in any case, it's looking good. Xbox, I think they're doing a lot of really good moves on the market side and the hardware side, and it's gonna be interesting to see how this shakes out. It's gonna benefit everybody's consumers. I mean, dude, the Game Pass has been awesome. We talked about that a bunch.
Oh yeah.
But let me see.
I mean, they're doing that with the upgrades between games or between platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Cross compatibility and backwards compatibility. That's another thing that's big on here. I think that's pretty much it. But Xbox, they're doing good stuff.
They are.
Oh yeah.
They had that. I think it was Phil Spencer who had a quote where they were talking about the xCloud and the whole setup they're trying to make happen with that technology that they have access to. That, in their opinion, Nintendo and Sony don't really have an infrastructure for, that they're trying to implement in the next generation. It's going to be interesting to see how xCloud and Xbox Game Pass and that stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how Microsoft tries to push things forward just for this generation, because they're thinking a little outside the box. Pun, pun definitely intended.
It's so funny because they're making a lot of good moves, but the naming scheme just sucks, and I feel like they're failing on that marketing end, because PlayStation is just so simple. It's like you got the PlayStation 5 and then or PlayStation 4 Pro. That's it. PlayStation 4. It's pretty straightforward. Whereas Xbox, even the Xbox One,
it always they all sound like car
makes no
models
sense.
to me.
Yeah.
Like that's what I kind of compare it to. It's like just a bunch of numbers and letters, and it's like, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's so much potential to the first Xbox that dropped.
And I mean, nothing was wrong with the
cool
Xbox
compared to the
360.
rest,
That was a cool name, Xbox 360. Everyone got it. They bought into it. They're like, okay, cool.
It's like an evolution.
Yeah, but I mean, Xbox One.
It's like, that's what we called the first one. You're so dumb. Like, you released the second one, and we call the first Xbox the Xbox One. Now you release a console called the Xbox One that is the new Xbox. And now we got to call the original one just the Xbox and be like, no, just mean
seriously, just call it
Xbox.
The 720. Call it the Orbit. Call it something else.
Call it the Tony Hawk. I don't give a
fuck.
Game Sphere. Still waiting on one of those to drop.
Come on, Game Sphere.
I need one of those.
That was from Drake and Josh. Is that it?
No, that's South Park.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Tally episode.
That's right. Oh man, good times. Good times. They had a Game Sphere in Drake and Josh. That's for some reason.
Seriously?
That's where my brain went for some reason. I've definitely seen that South Park episode.
Yeah, I've never watched Drake and Josh. So,
yeah.
I don't know if really that is, but it's funny they have a Game Sphere. That definitely makes me laugh.
Yeah, no, I kind of want a Game Sphere. I still think the next Nintendo console should be the Nintendo fucking Beefcake. I think it needs to have that,
write them a letter, dude.
F word in there every time.
Write them a letter.
Dear Nintendo.
I'm sure they'll consider it.
Just think about it.
Yeah. Just it's on the table.
It's on the table. If you go with something else, no hard feelings. There is no way you can make a worse name than Wii U. I think Xbox One was a better name than Wii U.
Honestly, I will absolutely 100% give you that. Yeah.
What the hell was
that?
Because
because at least we knew it was an Xbox, and I don't know. The Wii was like, okay, you're getting weird, but we see what you're doing. You're having fun.
We get it. Fine. I mean, the code name for that was the Revolution, which was just, I don't know. It's like that was.
You went way backwards from working title to finished title. What?
What the hell?
The Revolution would have made me really want one a lot more than the Wii. That kind of no, I'm not buying that.
Yeah. If it had launched with Mario Galaxy, I think that would have been a big deal too.
That too.
Because that game looked like an Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 game, in 480p for sure. So not HD, but might as well have been.
That's a rule Nintendo should have Mario as a launch title. Don't release your system until that game is ready.
Right? Yeah.
Or
Mario or Zelda. Yeah.
Exactly. This is easy to do. You can definitely time that together.
Yeah, and I mean that's what that was a big part of why the Switch is successful as it is now. I think. I mean, Zelda at launch, Mario later in that same year, the first year of it being on the market. Boom.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, a lot of third-party support. They got that Fortnite, they got that Witcher, they got that Doom, they got that Skyrim.
Microsoft, they got that Sony.
They got that Stardew Valley.
What's going on with the Switch, bro?
Yeah. They got Cuphead, they got Ori.
I think the show, MLB The Show, is going to be on the Switch,
That's
too.
Right.
God damn.
That's going to be happening.
Bro, the Switch is taking up the most unique space in gaming I think a platform's ever taken.
It's gonna be really interesting to see how it competes with the Series X and the 5.
It's not gonna need to.
It's
that's gonna be a part of the ecosystem for both of them.
It's gonna have a bigger install base, so it's still gonna maintain third-party support at least to a degree. Maybe the Switch Pro.
Dude, got my Switch, bro.
Xbox Bro, Xbox Alpha, just like, come on. Like,
comes with Mountain Dew and fucking
Doritos.
Red Bull.
It's so easy. Yeah. It's so easy.
The anthology.
And a pair of Turtle Beaches.
Oh, shit.
Xbox Greenlight. Easy. Just like anything. Anything would have been better than 1 when it's 3.
True.
1 does not equal 3. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm kind of just going off there.
At least it's different now. Series X kind of makes sense of what they're doing. It's a functional name, even though you name one of them Series X, but the other one's got still flaws, but it's better. They're getting better, bro.
We'll see how it shakes out, but it's not.
I mean,
I'm confused already. I don't really.
Just put out a good system, and we'll deal with the confusion. We'll figure that shit out.
And that's the thing. It's like like you say, with AMD being involved to the point where the graphics card that they have isn't even currently on the market. It's like it's one thing to be like, okay, well, Microsoft is gonna put their games on PC, so I can just have a PC. But I mean, you can get ray tracing on a computer, but at the same time, if they take that thought to the next level with the next Xbox or whatever, and they have stuff that's not gonna be on market for PC gamers for extended periods of time, then it's like, oh, they're starting to compete with the PC market, or at least kind of hint at the possibility.
I would disagree, because I mean, we're seeing more and more coming to PC, where I mean, Xbox has been kind of merging and like bringing PC into the fold, and even PlayStation. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn may or may not be coming to PC later this year.
Right. I think that is.
Death Stranding's coming to PC.
That's true, man.
And with the new console architecture being more closely related to PC architecture in a strong way, I think that's going to only allow for better cross development. And ray tracing, I think, is one of those features specifically where it's just kind of like you can have it on or have it off. But it is going to be interesting to see that get into the console first, but I think they're going to follow up on the computer side with
for sure, absolutely. I mean, as a company, why wouldn't they have like the next new graphics card? Like it's an established market they've been doing this whole time. But it's interesting, like you say, to see kind of this merging of the market, I guess I should say, when it comes to that, and it's gonna. I think this next generation is gonna be very interesting.
It's gonna be it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a big leap. And I don't know. It's going to be cool to see what developers do with fewer restraints.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about this beforehand, but I mean, you're talking about restraints and what developers. Dreams dropping.
Fuck yeah, dude! That's something we need to talk about. Yeah. Dreams.
Footage ready for it.
Yeah, we should have done that.
It's an achievement.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too late. We have the technology.
We do.
All right. I mean,
Man, look at me just limiting myself here mentally.
Yeah, Dreams is something I was really excited about because seeing them develop that and like what they can do with it. It's infinite. It's an infinite game for total creative possibilities.
It's a $40 game engine. That's cool. That's not expensive compared to like other game development kits that they have available on like Steam or whatever. I mean, they've got RPG Maker or something on Steam and Nintendo Switch, I think. I don't know.
RPG Maker's been around since
that's an older one for sure.
1.
Oh yeah.
The original PlayStation, I should say, in light of our last
PSX.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember they've had that. But this, I've heard they're remaking games like to a pretty faithful degree, at least for the
like
segments
slices of the game. Yeah, like Fallout
Nice.
4 was one they mentioned. Someone made like the first early, part of Fallout 4. Someone recreated the town of South Park.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that there's a Metal Gear Solid thing.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
That sounds very cool. Okay. I'm gonna have to look into that. There was someone is making an Avatar: Last Airbender video game, and it looks really it looks really good.
That's tight.
I mean, it looks really good. So I'm probably gonna get Dreams just to play that game alone. Like,
we'll have to. What we'll need to do is get some more footage and do some research and maybe get it and play it. And
we're gonna have to tackle this before the I want to say NDAs. That's not right. Copyright strikes start happening with this game. How is that gonna work? Do you guys think?
Well, because it's all user generated content within the game.
Right.
I don't think there's a legitimate claim against it, and this is how I think VR chat gets away with the same thing.
Okay.
It's all user-generated content, and none of it's for sale.
Right.
In that sense, and
that makes sense.
I guess you can kind of, in certain cases, maybe blur the lines, and I can imagine some companies maybe trying to make strikes on it, but by and large, because it's all user-generated content, Media Molecule's not responsible for it.
Exactly.
In a sense.
I mean, they've been doing that with Little Big Planet this whole time anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, I think, I don't know. It is kind of weird, though. But
it's iffy territory a little bit, at least. But I agree for the most part entirely. So I think it's going to be I think that's going to be a cool game to see just over time, more people adding more stuff to it and stuff. I really want to see that Avatar game like all the way through, because I mean, like, he always uploads this channel will upload content every day of them developing more and more stuff, and it's like they're just really putting in a lot of thought into it. It's the thing that excites me the most, and it's the most impressive thing I've seen from it so far. But I mean, everyone's going to see different stuff from that community, which is a part of what makes it so interesting.
So crazy, so in depth.
And it's crazy. That's a perfect example of what you're talking about, using the technology for new creative concepts and to push the platform forward, and really evolve it and see it, branch off in directions it never has. And I don't know, man. It's only the beginning. The new platforms haven't even dropped yet, and this is where we're at. So
I want to see stuff like that where the hardware is allowing you to push it, because from what I was seeing, Dreams runs pretty well, but there's some times where it depends on what they've created. Like you can run into some frame drops, but with beefier hardware, dude, I mean, just allowing you to create more complex scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys hear about how they recreated PT?
In Dreams? Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
they're going to make it a full game now. They're probably going to elaborate on it.
Man,
wow.
We've already talked about it, I think, but Hideo Kojima, rumors about him in his next game being like a scary game, like that kind of calls back to PT. Oh, I hope so, man. I hope it's VR compatible.
You know what?
No.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah,
No,
I will.
no, no.
I will.
Yeah.
And it will be great. I will
fuck you up. No, bro. That's how like a horror movie starts. This is probably how he manifests a real life horror movie.
I'm gonna duct tape a bunch of like broken glass and blades to the walls, and I'm gonna eat like a half ounce of shrooms beforehand.
Oh my god.
Yeah, nah, you're gonna
I'm
have a
not
heart
doing that.
attack in the
That would be
VR.
horrible. That would be horrible.
Like, I cannot let you do that, Zach.
Yeah.
Turn into fucking Hal real quick. I'm sorry, Zach.
Just like wear 7 layers of clothes so I overheat and just get anxious as possible. Like,
and your face is hot from the VR mask. Oh,
just
God.
really, really try and make it as unpleasant as can be.
Yeah.
What's that game? Edge of Nowhere? I almost said Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Live, die,
Yeah.
repeat.
Yeah, Edge of Nowhere in VR. That gets pretty intense.
I haven't played through that one, but I remember I did
neither
buy
have I.
it, but I haven't played
It's
it yet.
pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's worth it, man.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
cool. But it's a story game, it's third person. It's kind of on the horror side of things, intense. I guess I'd call it more like a horror thriller. But yeah, even in that, in VR, man, that amplifies shit so
And the three-dimensional sound design that they have implemented with all of the games in VR, it's like, it really adds to it because you fucking hear some shit behind you and you're just like, that chill goes up your spine.
Yeah.
Like, it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Resident Evil 7 VR is fucked up.
I really wish that was on Rift, man. What's fucked up is that they have that only on PlayStation.
I agree, but I'm also grateful because if there was any more fidelity to my experience with that, I might need some counseling sessions.
Dude,
that shit is intense.
I'm glad you started. I'm proud of you.
But it's amazing. I gotta give it that. It's amazing. My God, bro.
I very much want to play it.
There's no words. I don't know if I want to say I recommend it to people, but then again, like I feel like I gotta be like doctor level. That's like a prescription level decision. Like, this shit is intense.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass.
I will wait until I either can play it on Rift or until I cave and buy a PlayStation VR just for that single game. And Astro
Doesn't your roommate have one?
He does.
Does he not share?
He does. I just I'd rather have my own headset. I don't know.
It's
nothing against I don't know. It's just extended play of time. It's like headsets are a little more intimate. That stuff's on your face the whole time.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with my roommate's face, but it's his face.
This is true.
It's not mine.
Not mad.
You know, I don't know.
Or just save yourself the horror because do what you want to do, bro.
Yeah. I mean, Resident Evil 3 remake comes out in next month now.
Yeah, it's coming up quick, dude.
Yeah.
Very quick turnaround on that.
Resident Evil 2 remake was awesome. And like you say, dude, quick turnaround. Only a year later. And that was nominated for Game of the Year, and it was a remake.
Yeah, but it really deserved it, and I wasn't mad. I wasn't like, a remake?
I would be.
I was honestly, yeah.
A remaster, I would be upset with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But a remake, depending on the degree to which they decide to go with it, it's like, I wouldn't nominate Star Fox 64 3D,
Sure.
But this deserved the nomination.
Yeah. I feel like
even Shadow of the Colossus didn't deserve the nomination. I
mean, that was just more like just a
graphical
remaster.
Very. It wasn't a remaster because they did the remaster on PlayStation 3 with the Eco Collection, but this was a graphical complete overhaul. It still played exactly the same
game
from what I've heard, but it looked really good. But anyway, no, Resident Evil 2 was a full-on step forward. It was bringing that game into the modern day in the best case scenario, literally.
Yeah.
So good. I loved it. I loved Resident Evil 2 remake. I'm very excited for the third one. I very much want 7 on Rift.
Bro, they should bring it. Yeah, they should definitely bring it into PC VR. That'd be nice for users who want it. I'm not gonna touch it. Have fun. I mean, but I want it for people who want it. I am democratic like that, and it's for the people.
I might draw the line at PT VR. That might be a little much.
You can already do that, I think. Though I feel like there's already
I'm tempted. I mean, I think I would want to do 7 first, just because I don't know. For some reason, I've played PT before, but PT scares me a lot more than the thought of Resident Evil for.
Yeah, I don't want to touch it.
I feel like PT can access your soul. Whereas 7 just scares you and you're like, okay, I might have a weird dream tonight. PT, you might have
PT's next.
You might have
level,
company
man.
after that. And you know what I'm saying?
I can't with PT, man. It's so awesome. I'm so it's just so difficult to have a piece of software with such mystery behind it and sense of unease behind it in the age of the internet. So it's I don't know. It was really cool how how they had put it out there and everything. I'm excited for what Kojima does next. I thought Death Stranding was gonna be. I don't know. I liked it. I very much liked it. I did think it was gonna be a little more mind blowing though. I thought it was gonna be
Well, here, don't honestly, don't want to hear anymore. I don't even want to hear anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So we're gonna stop you there. I'm gonna pivot. Good. We're gonna say. Boneworks got a new update. Boneworks got a new update.
And it added save files.
They got save files added now. I think there's a new gun or something and some new stuff. But yeah, save points. Yeah. And some tweaks to the physics and stuff. So you can take breaks more frequently.
Dude, that's
a nice segue, bro. I like that.
Yeah. That's just gotta throw it in there. And then also Half-Life VR. It's coming soon. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. We talked a little bit earlier. Well, there's not a lot of footage that we haven't already shown.
This is true.
Honestly, I mean, like, that announcement came so out of left field that it's like, you know what, man? We don't even need, like... I don't need footage for that. Like, in the same way I needed something for Animal Crossing. It's like, you know what, man? I'm trusting it. I'll see it when I play it.
I want surprises. Yeah. I mean, I've already seen enough to where I'm, like, excited and, like, super hyped.
Yeah. And you're going to be playing on that Valve Index, man.
You know it, baby.
That's cool. That's exciting.
It's already like in my library. It says coming soon, and like it's just like
you're gonna be getting that optimum experience. And that's the thing, man. I really do hope. I mean, it is gonna be out on Rift, so I'll be able to play it, and I really hope that it's really good experience. You know, I'm sure it will be. It's just like, you know, I think the main difference will just be like, you know, the fingers. But
that's literally the only like technical thing that the Index can do that the Rift can't is these 3 fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and it's really like, I mean, it's the difference between like, because you can already do this, and I can do this. Yeah. And then also,
oh shit! Here we go.
So I mean, but that's about it. But I've heard there's a piano maybe, so you might not be able to play the piano.
Oh man, I might just
like
have
a
to
lot.
like,
you'll just have to. I mean, full hand those chords. But I mean, other than that, I expect it's gonna be fully compatible. And dude, it's gonna be system seller. I mean, the Index and the Quest and Rift S are like still pretty much sold out. Yeah, it's insane.
Glad I got mine in time. Yeah, that's awesome. I was saying this before we went live, but I use that thing every day. I am so happy.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I love it, man. I love it. Thrill of the Fight and Super Hot. I still play Super Hot just because, like, I'm just waiting for a sequel. I just play the endless mode and keep trying to beat my high scores. I don't know why. It's just fun. It's just so much fun.
No, it really is. Yeah.
Thrill of the Fight, man. Oh, that endurance mode. I'm trying to get to work my way up to Outclassed. That's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah, it's
that's gonna take me a couple of weeks of like, you know, focused, like diligent, every day, making sure that I'm, you know, playing and keeping myself in shape and everything. Staying hydrated.
Well hydrated.
I do not play that game without water.
Yeah, there was another game I wanted to talk about. We saw some news this week about Baldurs Gate. That's right. Actually, just a couple days ago. So Larian, the developers of Divinity Original Sin, have been working on Baldur's Gate 3. And I was so excited to hear that they've got the franchise because they are one of my favorite developers and earned my complete trust. I played Baldur's Gate a little bit when I was a kid. I didn't get really deep, but like the franchise just has some like history and pedigree for me. So I'm excited to see what they're doing with this. Yeah. And it looks really cool. So they Sven, the director of Larian, showed us some gameplay. It's very Divinity-esque. I mean, like the HUD and like gameplay looks so similar. I mean, like it looks exactly the same.
I mean, it's like, dude, I'm not even done with Divinity yet. Like,
dude, me neither. I never beat it. Like, and I've put like almost 200 hours in.
I've put in a good amount of time
across like 5 saves. The problem is like I start the game, I get through it, and I get like up to a point, and then like I start to save with like somebody else.
Yep.
And I get to that same point.
Exactly.
And then rinse and repeat, and then I go back to my save, and I'm like, oh, where was I? Start over.
I think it's really cool that you can carry your saves over from PC to Switch, and the same thing with Witcher 3.
Witcher 2? Now. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, that's such an awesome update.
That's a good thing.
The Switch has its tentacles on every platform, man.
It's killer.
Yeah, dude. That thing is like the universal handheld.
Yeah. Yeah.
And home of Nintendo exclusives.
Dude, it's like
that's a crazy situation.
It's the only handheld that, in my eyes, is relevant. Obviously, mobile has like a huge market. I mean, Activision makes more money off their mobile sector than their console sector now, unfortunately. But it is what it is, you know, whatever. But as far as, you know, actual gaming, shots fired. It's that Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna skip ahead here to show some combat from this. It looks, as you can see, it's still very
top down, turn based.
Yeah.
Click and point, but very, very heavily story focused, I assume.
Yeah. There's a bunch of dialogue and stuff. There's some pre-made characters. They've got a good class system that you can kind of choose from. Very similar to Divinity.
Did the older Baldur's Gate games also play like Divinity?
Not exactly. They were isometric, similar to this. So that the perspective isn't something too new.
Okay.
But I think they were live action or real time with pause. Yeah. And this some people were criticizing that's turn based. I don't know if it does have a real time mode or not, but it's very very Divinity like. But honestly, I like that. They did so good with it, and it's such a good system for like RPGs. Like
I agree.
You could just keep churning out good RPGs in that style, and I'll keep playing them. So
yeah,
I'm excited for this.
Yeah,
no, I think too. I mean, at least for the title. I mean,
yeah,
looks like a game that's been around very recently, but
right. Yeah, Larian Studios, man, they're awesome. They make really good stuff. Yeah. The original Divinity Original Sin, the first one, I had even played that one on not on computer, but on PlayStation 4.
Nice.
Some of their dialogue was so cheesy but so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm as warm as a fresh apple pie. Like
I feel like RPGs have to have some corniness to them.
You gotta have it, it's like that I don't know, Monty Python-esque, just like a little why not here and there.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see the game looks good. As good looks familiar.
Yeah, exactly.
What I want from them.
Yeah. I
mean, honestly, I do kind of want to see some more changes because some of it looks a little bit too copy paste from Divinity. Like some of the just the UI, like looting the chest was the same golden chest thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, come on, man, make like a new one.
There's a way to make it a little more like unique, but also translate the exact same thought in the same way where it's like I understand what I have to do, but it doesn't. I don't have to rely on plain Divinity to understand what I have to do or anything.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he's demonstrating that you can like climb up on some boxes and stuff there. It's gonna be cool. I think they're gonna definitely expand on systems a lot, and it's gonna have its own mechanics, for sure. But I don't know. I'm excited. Very excited for this.
And when's it coming out?
They're gonna have early access later this year. That's all I've said. I think.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's gonna be good.
Yeah,
be exciting to talk about here in a few months.
Oh yeah.
Aside from that, I did want to talk about the our background. So I've been playing a lot of Star Citizen, and I know it's kind of like a controversial game in some circles, but like they just released the Carrack, which is a ship that's basically been in development since the game was like widely announced. One of the first concept ships that they sold.
Just the ship alone has been in development this whole time.
Yeah, and it's a big multi-crew ship. Can you get the audio? This is just like a car commercial for the ship. So I don't know. We can talk over it a little bit, but the ship itself is it's a long-range explorer.
Wanderer's legs. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come home to Simple Rick.
I'm gonna cut up some footage though of the ship. I want to do a tour, but basically, dude, it's all you need in a spaceship.
What's out there?
It's got 4 decks.
But for me, it was more than that.
Yeah.
This is keep in mind.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. I love it.
This is not the year 2572 where we're actually talking about spaceships with 4 decks that we can just shoot across the solar system. This is a video game. This is a game-related network.
Yeah.
This is not a real commercial that we are endorsing.
Wish it was.
It'd be pretty cool if it were.
Come over to the taste of breaking the grand illusion.
Yeah, wasn't the Normandy 4 floors? 4 stories?
I don't remember.
I think it was.
No, it was huge though.
It is it's good stuff.
But aside from the ship, in the newest update, they've actually started implementing long-term persistence. So the credits and the ships you buy, armor and weapons and stuff, is actually going to carry over through patches as they see fit. If they need to do a wipe, they'll wipe. But now it's at a point where like there's actual like progress you can make, and I can buy a ship and like have it longer term.
Okay.
So I'm excited for this. But this ship, yeah, they're finally going to show the ship here now.
That was
Yeah, I probably should have gotten a better video. It's just a car commercial.
Oh,
It's really
it's
neat.
great. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's big for the world building and stuff, and it,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's selling me. So my question is, on that note, is this a game that will eventually become a game that I can just download for $60 and not put any more money into?
Absolutely, yeah. I would say at this point, yeah, you can. The starting package for Star Citizen is $45 for the a few different ship variants, and then there's like a couple different $60 ships, and then up from there. But yeah, especially if you play with people, like there's enough people with other ships where you can fly whatever and just have fun. Like I don't own a Carrack, but a couple of people I play with do.
Yeah.
So I've been just flying their ship, and we just been flying around and fucking around doing stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, I gotta get some more footage where it actually shows you the interior of the ship, but it's incredible. There's a whole cartography deck where there's a star map. There's a hangar where we can land another ship inside of the ship, and then there's a cargo bay where we've been fitting in like a ground rover. We also fit in like a couple other vehicles too.
Ship Inception.
Yeah, so we're just like flying around, going to different planets and like landing, and then just like romping around, and just like
Shin.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had to.
But yeah, it's been a ton of fun. It's just given us a lot more. It's like a home base that we can like do things from.
That
because there's
sounds like
also
a
a
lot of
med
fun.
bay.
It is home.
Yeah,
That commercial.
exactly. No, the
Carrack
med
is
bay's
home.
been killing it because like we can set the med bay as a spawn point. So if we die, as long as the ship's there, we'll spawn in the ship. So otherwise, like normally, if we would go do a mission, you would die and you go back to the spaceport, and you got to get like back in your ship and like fly back out, finish the mission.
Right.
Now it's like we get out of the ship, we do the mission. If we get killed on the mission, we just go right back into the ship, which is parked nearby, and like there's so many things are coming together. And the prison system's coming out in the next update, which is gonna be cool. Yeah. So if you die while you have a crime stat, you'll wake up in prison, and you have to stay there until your sentence is up, or you work your way out. So it's going to be, I think, a good way to disincentivize crime. But you can also break out of prison. So
okay.
it's on a moon, so you can fly down. Like if you can have buddies like fly it down and like break you out.
High risk, high reward.
Exactly.
Gets your, if you break out, you're in even more trouble. So
you're just gonna have that crime stat, but there's ways to get it down. Like you can hack it and like do stuff. I don't know.
Well, this sounds
Yeah.
like Animal Crossing in space. If it were hyper realistic and not animals.
Yeah. More guns.
This really is
Rail
the
guns.
Animal Crossing.
It doesn't really. I'm just trying to make this the Animal Crossing Skyrim
Gotta bring it
Astral
back.
Chain network.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll accept that. Astral
Yo.
Chain is
On that note,
fire.
yeah, it's good. You're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Good.
I held off for a long time.
You did, man. I
almost
was
got
impressed.
it when it came out, but I was
Yeah.
like,
You were so close, man.
fiscal responsibility. If I need
Fiscal
to
responsibility.
be an adult about this,
Dude,
and
I
so
hear
I held
you.
off, and I felt good about it, and then I was waiting even longer, like, yeah, maybe it'll go on sale.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
has. So I was just like, I'm tired of waiting. I finally did it, and it's awesome, man. I didn't know. Excuse me. Beside it being platinum and getting good reviews and good action, I didn't know it was going to be pretty much presented in the form of like an anime series, right? So you're the police people, right? And then you have your chimera that you latch to become your legion. So that's that thing you see attached to the chain flying around. And you're part of a team, and they introduce it, and you go case by case, go by files, right? And so in each file, you can solve different little side mission, side cases that are only available during that. But it's like an episode, and the next thing comes on. It's got an intro, an outro.
Okay.
It's really, I feel like it might become an anime series.
That sounds so lit. Oh my god.
I gotta check it out because I was watching some gameplay. Which did you got some gameplay queued up?
I do.
I kind of because I remember watching it some stuff before it came out and being like, okay, I should check this out. And watching it again, I'm like, okay, yeah, I really should catch up and check this out.
Yeah, man. I pull up in the middle of combat, but there is a lot where you're mobbing around, like doing detective stuff. They have this, I forget what the mode they call it. But you hit the plus button, and it pulls up an overlay, like a scan, like a different digital readout where you're seeing like where things are highlighted, right? It's almost like Batman's detective vision.
Okay.
And so you go around, scan things, you'll recreate scenes through it. You'll have your Legion go help you out with that stuff. And the way you use it for like traversal and stuff, so you'll send your Legion across a gap, he'll pull the chain to pull you across as a substitute for having like a jump button. So you can't jump and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they figured out a way around all of that. But
Makes sense.
man, it is a smooth running, super clean experience. Platinum are masters of the action RPG, man. This is them, to me, in my experience, at their best.
For sure.
I haven't played Nier Automata. I really want to get to that, but I've heard it's the same guy that led the development.
Yeah, same director, I believe. And yeah, you know, that's the thing. I haven't played this yet, but Nier Automata is definitely my favorite Platinum game.
Oh yeah, isn't it pulled into the Astral Realm for the first time early on?
Oh,
that's a cool thing too. In this game, graphically, I mean, it's cool in handheld mode, it really is, but this is the first Switch game where I might play exclusively on my screen.
I know what you mean. Man. It's like having the option between the two is always nice, but there's certain games where it just looks very clean, even for it being technically a Portal at heart, and as far as what it's functionally capable of, it's still very impressive to see some of this stuff, and I'm really happy about that.
The ambition behind it, man. That's the thing. If you have a good direction with your art and with you execute your vision.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna introduce a cool tactic coming up here in a second. You'll see kind of what you can do with your Legion. Oh, here they go. So watch. They're gonna let them do a chain counter. You can catch them and throw them back from whence they came.
Interesting.
Send them over there. You got time. So this is the kind of stuff I was telling you about. I'm like, yo, the way you would get involved with that chain is awesome.
That's really cool because it makes you play with the landscape and positioning, like you have like a little AI partner or whatever almost.
You can send your Legion around them too, and bind them up for a little bit and immobilize them. Stuff
cool,
like that.
Do some like Battle of Hoth, like AP
yeah,
stuff.
Exactly, exactly. And like traversal too, you can like whip around like poles and stuff to pull you to a platform that's kind of at an obscure angle. They really put a lot of thought into it, man. I'm thoroughly impressed and glad I waited, but man, I can only imagine how much fun people have been having with this game this whole time.
Did you guys, Adam, I think I told you about it, but Kevin, did you hear about that crowdfunder that Platinum released for the Wonderful 101 to get ported to the Switch, computer, and PlayStation? So the Wonderful 101 is a Platinum game that came out for the Wii U, and it had a tiny little cult following. You know, some people really liked it, and they announced that they had a crowdfunding page opened for that game to get ported to the Switch, PlayStation, and computer. And they had a certain goal for each platform. And I think they only had to raise like $50,000 to get it ported to the Switch, but they had to raise $250,000 to get it ported to Steam, and then $500,000 to get it ported to PlayStation 4. And it met the PlayStation 4 goal of $500,000 in a matter of like days.
Jeez.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 days, and it happened. So we're getting that game ported to all these current platforms, and that's one I did not play on the Wii U. So you know, maybe that's one from Platinum I might check out at some point. You know, some people liked it, some people didn't. But Platinum is also working on their own new intellectual property. I don't know if you guys heard about that. The code name for it is Project GG. Yeah.
I mean, whatever they drop, I'm definitely gonna at least check out.
I mean, they're
Whatever
literally
Devolver kind of get that respect from me now.
they're literally calling it a good game, just like in the code name. So it's like if Platinum's calling it their good game, and it's their IP that they're gonna own. Because I think Astral Chain as an IP is owned by Nintendo, as is Bayonetta, and I think Nier Automata is owned by like Square Enix and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, to see them actually have their own, like, you know, entirely new thing. I mean, it's like, you know, this is entirely new, and Nier Automata was a sequel technically. So, well, Vanquish was new, and Vanquish is still honestly still nowadays looked back on very fondly, and I would love to see a sequel out of that. That would be
seriously, man. They do gotta revisit that at some point. That game, that was my introduction to Platinum.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was Bayonetta, but Vanquish, I remember when that came out, my current roommate and I got it for our friend for his birthday, and that was an awesome game, man. That was a very underrated game.
Very. I remember playing the demo and being like, what
Yeah.
the hell is this?
Exactly.
Just like rocket sliding, slow motion,
and
bosses
hopping over
shooting off
thunder,
thousands of missiles. Like,
doing
no.
like double backflips, and in the same time you're shooting a bunch of enemies at once. It was like, Vanquish was awesome.
It just felt cooler than every other video game.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
But Platinum regularly makes their games feel like that when you're playing it. Like, how come other games aren't this fucking cool? What's your guys' secret? You know, that's kind of how I feel about them.
Did you guys ever play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance?
A little bit. I didn't
Okay.
beat it, but I got it and played it like an hour or two.
It
I
was
didn't get into it, but it was fun.
Okay.
I did. I beat it.
Nice.
It's
nice.
fun.
Yeah, no,
It's not the greatest game ever, but it's fun.
I mean, I've heard good things about it. As a Platinum game, I've heard good things about it. But it's like, as far as I can tell, when it comes to Platinum games, the three big boys are Nier Automata, Astral Chain as of now, and Bayonetta 2, I'm going to say. You know? And it's going to be interesting to see where they go, how things go forward with them. They signed a contract with the devil company, Tencent. So, I mean, hey, maybe it's just like them getting their, I don't know, maybe they're just getting some funding that's going to help them out, and maybe this new IP is a result of that. But, you know, it's like, hopefully they, you know, I just want them to make good games.
That's true. There is a lot of stuff coming out. Tencent's based in, what's that city they're based in China? Shenzhen, yeah. That city on its own is doing a lot for tech, man.
It's China's Silicon Valley.
Remarkable in that regard. So I don't know, man. It's just so much going on over there.
Yeah, they're not slowing down.
Be the political gaming network.
The political network.
2020
Political
year.
related
Jesus.
network.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we drinking? What is this doing to me? Oh, man.
Oh, jeez.
But, you know.
I'll tell you this, man. You should get Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Not gonna do it.
You should do it.
Bro.
See.
Bro.
You should do it.
Bro.
You
I
should
got
do it.
Final Fantasy 7 coming.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, you know, you only have to play Animal Crossing, like, you know, you don't even have to play it every day. You can just play it like a couple minutes every day, no stress. It's like, whatever, man. Enjoy it at your own pace.
Bro, because in the back of my mind, I'm gonna be like, Granny's out there getting it right. You know what I'm saying?
Granny is right out
Zach
there.
ain't gonna do it.
Getting this.
Somebody's gonna fucking do it. And I don't need that kind of pressure, bro. I got enough on my plate.
Oh, I fucking can't.
I don't need it.
Oh, my God.
All
I'm
right.
gonna stick to my Astral Chain, and then I'm gonna play my Final Fantasy 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what I'm gonna do all summer after I beat that until Cyberpunk drops.
Oh, you'll find a way.
Oh, I will.
You'll find a way to occupy your time.
I mean, Last of Us in May.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm good.
We'll be fine.
Resident Evil 3 in April, along with Final Fantasy 7 Remake. And Final Fantasy 7 Remake is probably going to be it's probably going to be a big game, you know.
Yeah.
I'd be
It's
surprised.
gonna be huge. This is good, massive. This is gonna be full length, at least as long as the original. That's why I'm not tripping about it being segmented the way it is in 3 parts.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it either. I would just rather play it when it's, I mean, even if that's a decade from now, to be honest, I'm just going to wait for it all to come out on PC, I think. Because, I mean, I'm not the wait isn't painful for me because I never really played I've never played any Final Fantasy extensively. Played a little bit of 15, like a few minutes, and I played a couple hours of 3 on the DS, but.
I feel that. But you might be looking at it as one game. They're not even looking at it like that no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're looking at the lore of one game and expanding on it to make 3.
Yeah, this is like a Mass Effect trilogy or something for them.
Yeah, and there was, and admittedly, the reason they're doing that because you can't make games with that much content anymore as quickly as you could back in the day because it was all text-based.
Text, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't voice acting involved. There was so much less.
Yeah.
In the process of making the game, and even that game at the time was like the biggest gaming budget ever for a release.
If they had like those 3D graphics, I remember watching
Yeah.
Final Fantasy cutscenes and just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like,
We
whoa.
called them cinemas back in the
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
You got fucking cinemas, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Full motion. Whenever like the weapons would show up or something, or fucking Juno cannons, probably like, what is happening here? That shit, I used to just want to go. I'd be like, okay, I'll stop after I get another cutscene.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to see that sweet video.
Sweet CG.
That was the benefit of having a PlayStation versus 64. Even though,
no kidding,
like,
man.
they had access to both after a while.
Some
I
of
used
those
to be bummed you
cutscenes,
couldn't do that on
you would just
64.
watch those and be like, "What, dude?" Like, I'd go to my friend's place and watch Tekken 3 and be like, "Oh man, sick."
Yeah.
And the audio, that was the other thing.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
true.
that nice Red Book audio, CD quality, man.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when first time I ever noticed that, I wasn't really paying attention until, was it WWF Warzone or whatever came out? And we had it on 64 at my house. Me and my brother would play it. And you hear the wrestlers' music and you hear like a video game version of it. I went to my friend's house and I picked Stone Cold. I heard the glass break and the and DX had words in their music. I was like,
what the fuck?
They had an opening, like the opening to Raw as their cutscene. I was like,
They got what?
Bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a good memory though, because now it's such a built-in thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about the kind of differences that platforms used to have versus
Yeah.
now. They've kind of had one-to-one capabilities, maybe not like visually and like cleanliness, but they could all put some video out and do this for a while.
Yeah.
But back then, like if you were like, okay, cartridge-based, CD-based is a big fucking difference, you know?
There were some big gaps. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Now it's...
I mean, now I mean, back to Xbox One and how shitty a name it is, but
Oh, the salt, bro.
to be honest, this generation, man, like, I mean, Sony fucking killed it in the console space. Like the Wii U, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4. Like, I mean, out of those, which one was the? I mean,
PS4 hands down out of all
man.
that.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, it's
PS4's
like,
only competition is the Switch.
and even that was like, I mean, I love the Switch. Don't get me wrong, but PlayStation 4, as far as what it is capable of, not in as far as like hardware, it's not really anything special in the hardware department, especially nowadays. But the experiences and the quality of those experiences that I could only get on PlayStation, such as Bloodborne, Horizon Zero Dawn, and God of War, like some of those games, man, are just like, I mean, yeah, I got Master Chief Collection on Xbox, but I really don't give a shit about anything else on that console, and that's kind of sad. Like,
yeah, there's not a lot they give you incentive to give a fuck about.
7-year-old console, and I just want a collection of games that wasn't even originally for that console. Like, ouch.
And meanwhile, Sony's over there. I swear they got magicians on their staff, and I play like God of War. You know what I mean? And the fact we're playing Last of Us 2, that shit is not going to look like it belongs anywhere near a PlayStation 4.
There's definitely going to be a PlayStation 5 version of that game.
For sure.
And it's going to look awesome.
I think they should, if they want to be cool. If you want to be cool, Sony, just make it The Last of Us 2, and if you buy it on a PlayStation 4, it's also the same copy that you get on the PlayStation 5, and it plays at the quality you would expect.
See, that part of that is like why I think they're waiting for Xbox and Microsoft to kind of do everything so that, you know, if Microsoft plays their cards wrong, then Sony can come in and be like, hey, we're not going to make you stay all online. Here's how you lend a game to someone else. Here you go. They fucking did like however many years ago.
But I don't think Xbox is going to let up with any of those faux pas anymore. I think Phil's smart.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think Xbox is doing things right, and I think PlayStation is waiting for, whether or not they do things right or wrong, they're waiting to see what they do and see what they can learn from that. Hopefully.
True.
Hopefully.
No, that's true. They're letting Xbox play their hand
so that they can, so they can copy the good ideas and say, fuck that shit to the bad ideas.
Yeah.
So
Well, that, but hopefully. I also think both are gonna have to, based off of user feedback, have a heavy emphasis on backwards compatibility, right?
And that was another thing that came from the Xbox, right? It's like going to be pretty much fully backwards compatible with all generations as far as everything that they've put in that library so far with the Xbox One.
I think Sony has to follow suit, so I think naturally that might be a reason why they're kind of highlighting it as a separate thing, but I think it's a consequence of the backwards compatibility, whereas if you get a game on this platform, you'll have it for this platform. Because if it's backwards compatible, why would you purposefully have a version on that platform that runs worse? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do that with the Play Anywhere thing, they're not going to make your PC run the game at Xbox standards. It's going to go to whatever you can do on your PC. You have the PC version. Yeah. So to me, that's kind of the same thing. If they're really trying to have that ecosystem set up, you kind of have to do that. So I don't know. I kind of figure this out on the fly right now. That I feel like they're just being a little clever with it. But I do think that my prediction at least would be that, if you buy Last of Us 2 coming up, it gets dropped on the next PlayStation, you already have it.
For me, I've been hearing that, like, the concern with backwards compatibility for Sony has been, the elephant in the room for them has been the PlayStation 3 because of its architecture and
and I honestly, I mean, if they just came out and said, like, hey, PS3 is fucking hard for us, we can't really do it right now, okay, I get it. Yeah. Like, and that is a technical concern, but I would say we've got a PS3 emulator that's kind of working out okay right now.
We're starting to get to that point where the PlayStation 3 can be emulated now on PC. So
also,
it's
have the PlayStation Now
that's
service
true.
Where you're streaming the games. So if you can't emulate it, there's a workaround you're already using that you can include easily for no cost. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make people pay for that aspect of it.
Compared
to,
if you want. Compared to the benefit that they could get out of it. Like,
well, maybe like if somebody has I guess there wasn't really digital libraries back then. That's kind of a stretch, I guess. But yeah, even if they do something with associated costs, make the PlayStation 1 library available. You know what I mean? Or if you put the disc in the system, at least you can have technology in there where it can recognize the kind of disc and what disc it is. Yeah. So if you want to stream it from the service, you at least have access to anything you have a physical copy of.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because it's like, even then, if you have a scratched up copy of a PlayStation 1 game, which is kind of the main problem with PlayStation 1 games from what I've heard, is that they got scratched pretty frequently and easily, is that, if a scanner can, like, pick up any part of the code or whatever from reading that CD-ROM, they could, connect it to online and, stream it through or something. On a totally unrelated note, Power Stone, that was Dreamcast, not PlayStation, right?
Well, that came out, I feel like, on other systems, too, on the sequel. I thought it was on GameCube and all kind of shit after that.
If it was on the GameCube, I did my childhood wrong. If it was on GameCube, I really wish I had gotten it back then, because that game was so fun. Yeah, I loved Power Stone back then.
Where did that come from, though?
I don't know. I was just thinking about, like, old
PlayStation
1 games, and I was like, I don't know. I was thinking of games from that PlayStation 1, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2 era. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll look that up, dude. See if
I feel like that's a game that.
Let's wrap it up because it's getting late.
That's true. That's true. I feel like we can't end on this cliffhanger. Yeah. Power Stone, GameCube. That's all I'm typing in right now. Then we can bid it adieu. GameCube. Let's see. Am I accurate?
But when we come back next time, I'll scour all the PAX East footage for Animal Crossing back on the Animal Crossing related network.
Keep the updates coming.
Exactly. We didn't mention Scram at all.
There's not a lot. Okay. Now. Well, okay. Before we go, then, there's not a lot of big news. Last thing I saw is that Prague, the VRIK developers, working with Expired, the race menu developer, and he is working on the guy who does this mod race menu, working on integrating the Steam VR skeletal system into Skyrim, so we can have full finger tracking via the index controllers. That's cool. It's gonna be a ways out. There's some new stuff. There's a Wapajack. There's this thing called Wapajack that's like a mod package installer, so you can basically just kind of like in one click download like a set of mods and install them. Nice. It's kind of a cool option. There's a few different packs, and it's getting more attention and support, which is good because it really simplifies the process, and you can then kind of go through and tweak it as you want it. Right. If you wanted to, but it's a nice solution. Other than that, I've just been playing here and there. Nothing new.
There you go. Good stuff. Yeah, for sure. So what's up on that Power Stone on GameCube? Is that
inaccurate?
Oh, inaccurate. Okay. I was gonna say, man. I was gonna say if Power Stone had been on GameCube, I would still own my copy, guaranteed, because that is like
further though. I feel like it got out of the Dreamcast setup because they started failing so quick.
I think they had it on PlayStation Portable.
Maybe you're right.
Because I remember at one point I thought it was on PlayStation 3 because I was looking at games to download on my PlayStation 3 at one point like 10 years ago. or whatever. Jesus.
Oh, I think you're right.
And I was looking, and I bought it, and I downloaded it, and it was like I found out afterwards. Oh no, this is a PlayStation Portable game. You're just able to buy it on your PlayStation 3, so you can play it on your PSP through your account. And it's like, I don't have a PSP. Why did you make it sellable to me on my PlayStation 3? I don't understand. It's like Google Stadia making it so you have to buy their games through the phone app. It's like, what the hell is this?
Power Stone Collection is on Vita as well.
Dang,
for $10.
Dang.
Wish I had a Vita.
You used to have a Vita.
Hey. That was a sacrifice for what we're doing right now.
Worth it. Okay, well.
The wound hurts.
Get Power Stone on Nintendo Switch. Put it on there. That's all I'm saying. That's how I'm ending it.
It's worth it.
Hip hop for life.
Hip hop for life.